Greetings, fellow travelers. My name is Captain Olimar. During my time here in PNF 404, I've encountered many strange and wonderful artifacts, some to please the eye, and others to nourish the body and soul. Our local treasure enthusiast, Snows, has meticulously cataloged each of these items within their respective series. Today, I wish to add my personal observations to this growing compendium. We begin with, let's see here. Wait, this isn't right. Confound it, where's that note? Ah yes, the Rubber Cutie series, beginning with Universal Rubber Cutie. The first time I laid eyes on this treasure, I thought it was a giant aquatic monster. It took me a few paralyzing seconds to realize that it's just a statue. What a relief. If such an attractive creature were to attack me, I'd be too entranced to run away. Planetary Rubber Cutie has well-proportioned facial features and a smooth exterior. Its hollow interior allows it to float on water. I thought long and hard about what creature inspired this treasure, and before I knew it, I was petting its beak. I'm powerless in the face of cuteness. Stately Rubber Cutie. Compared to the other treasures found, this sculpture is tiny, yet with its beak turned courageously upward and its round eyes brimming with the spirit of adventure, I can't help but admire its gallant image. Beauty really can be found around any corner. Dapper Rubber Cutie. When I was a kid, I coveted a black leather jacket that hung in a shop window. It was so cool. I begged my parents to buy it for me, but they just scoffed in my face. So I saved up my pocket change for months and finally bought it myself. It turns out wearing a leather jacket during the peak of a Hocotate summer is a shortcut to getting a heat stroke. That was the last time I ever tried to be cool. And now we have the Sweetooth Series, starting with Sweet Stumble Knot. A gigantic brightly colored stick of candy adorned with a ribbon. My guess is that it was meant to be a gift for a child, and would be a great souvenir to bring back to my own kids. I'll need to keep a close eye on the spaceship's temperature to prevent its melting during transport. Sweet Torrent. I hear this item was discovered in a bright and open area, unlike other caves I've encountered. What's more, it was presented on a large silver plate. I wonder why it was there. Is it a form of entertainment for visiting guests? Or maybe we are the guests. Deceptive Snack. It's sweet, but not too sweet. Salty, but not overly so. It tastes like something a more refined palate would appreciate, perhaps belonging to someone whose tastes were developed over the course of many years. Cookie of Nibbled Circles. Stealing a bite of food before it's been served is quite rude, but I understand the impulse. My son and I are always waiting outside the kitchen, itching to try whatever my wife's been cooking. Thankfully, she finds it charming, or we'd have to curtail the habit. Cookie of Prosperity. This pattern always reminds me of our family game nights. We like to play board games, but it would be even more enjoyable if we could eat the boards after. I was curious to know if the flavor was as playful as the design, so I took a bite. Tastes normal. Vanishing Cookie. Sweets don't simply disappear of their own accord. There has to be some sort of scientific explanation. To test my theory, I've laid out the cookies and I am waiting. Normally I'd have given in to my urge to eat them, but I must stay strong. Love's Fortune Cookie. Before we got married, my wife took a compatibility test to assess our relationship. It was all for a laugh, but we got 120%, indicating we would be eternally happy together. I don't really believe in all that fortune-telling stuff, but that test got it right. Hearty container. In my line of work, encountering tough situations and feeling like your life is in danger is all a part of the job. But something about this cookie makes me feel like I have the strength to make it through. Like I have an extra heart if my first one runs out. Jiggle jiggle. Children are fascinated by jiggling objects like this. I know my kids would lose their mind if they encountered this gelatinous tower. I consider myself a mature adult, and even I'm fighting the urge to climb to the top of this jiggling hill. S.S. Berry. At our wedding, our friends gave my wife and me a spaceship-shaped cake that looked a lot like this one. It wasn't as big, but it resonated with my dreams of exploring space. Of course, my dreams are slightly different now, but I'm happy I still have my wife by my side. S.S. Peppermint. One whiff of this brings me back to the long days of summer, eating ice cream with my kids. This fragrance smells like their favorite flavor, bright and refreshing. At first, I didn't want to try it, but my children insisted. Now it's my favorite ice cream flavor too. S.S. Chocolate. My wife and I have been together for a long while, but our relationship has never been as perfectly poised as this cake. Maybe it's because I'm always flying around space, and she's at home, trying to keep things together. We are really due for a date night. We have now arrived at the Dazzle Series, beginning with the Unbreakable Promise. It's a common practice to present an expensive gift to your intended when you will propose. I didn't have the means to do so when my wife and I became engaged, and I've always regretted that fact. But at least I still love her as much as I did then. Golden Vaulting Table. Apparently, if you can jump over this, you'll be blessed with great wealth. I'm not the superstitious type, but I'm tempted to give it a try. I could use the extra cash. The only thing standing in my way are my poor middle-aged hip joints. Olfactory Sculpture. It's a multi-sensory art experience. You've got the flicker of the flame, the texture of the body, and that glorious scent that just melts into your surroundings. It's so soothing and calming. I'm getting a bit sleepy here. Is it a sleep... Next. Princess Pearl. My daughters love shiny jewels and trinkets for as long as I can remember. She used to be happy enough with pretty stones and pieces of sea glass, but now all she wants are the more illustrious items like this. That doesn't bode well for my wallet's future. Sticky Jewel. This gemstone is large, but it looks kind of cheap. I've only just started to accept that one day someone might propose to my own daughter with a gift like this. I know I should probably give that person a warm welcome, but I already don't like them. Hoop of Healing. I read somewhere that some colors can have certain effects on your body. This color seems to calm my mind and help me recover my composure when I'm feeling frazzled in the field. It has an almost healing effect. Hoop of Passion. The science of colors intrigues me. For example, I can feel my instincts sharpen and my zest for life intensify when I gaze upon this hue. What would happen if I were to walk through this ring with my wife? Perhaps its powers could reenact the spark between us. Hoop of Fortune. People tend to gather with those who are like-minded, and eventually they become friends and partners. If you want to build a circle of good friends, you must be the kind of person whose company you enjoy. Then you find companionship with yourself as well. And now we reach the Recollection. I could use a few of these tools myself. So here we have the Tandem Trainer. I'm no longer trying to catch anyone's eye, but as the sole breadwinner, I need to prioritize my health so I can support my family for years to come. The problem is, I'm so busy supporting them, there's not a lot of time left for push-ups. We'll see how it all turns out. Sphere of Fuzzy Feelings. Growing up, I wasn't one for chasing balls or shedding tears over a win or a loss, but my passions were equally absorbing. I wonder why this giant fuzzy sphere has me thinking of more youthful days, and what they were like for the inhabitants of this planet. Orbital Communication Sphere. Its hard outer shell could withstand severe environments, but the inside appears to be unexpectedly soft. The geological layers are breathtaking. If I had to guess, I'd say this is a scale model of a celestial body. I just can't explain why I want to hit it with a stick. Orb of Destruction. I can verify that there are indeed 108 stitches on this ball. I counted them myself. Oh, that's not right. Get back here. Where was I? Oh, right. Ugh. Yes, I counted them myself. The process took me all night to complete. As an explorer, it's important to question things in order to survive, but you should be careful not to overdo it. And now we reach the Gimme series. Louis is particularly fond of this as he likes to look for shiny things for his Nana. We have the Greed Inducement device. When you hear the sound this makes, the word paycheck immediately comes to mind. It's followed quickly by the image of my wife's face and her voice reciting our monthly household budget in full. Food, tuition, medical bills. The list goes on and on and... You get the idea. Disc of Joyous Wisdom. Whenever I hear a joyful song, I'm transported back to family celebrations with live music and dancing. I see my family, all dressed to the nines, looking at me with silly expressions on their faces. I hope to witness that again one day soon. Disc of Angry Wisdom. A few years ago, my wife suspected I had betrayed her in some way or another and was furious at me. She was so enraged she could have turned the whole world upside down. It was terrifying, yet comforting to know that I still ignited such passion within her. Disc of Sorrowful Wisdom. What is the purpose of emotions? They give our lives meaning and balance. One cannot survive a life of pure sorrow, so we must find delight in things. A life of pleasure would become monotonous, so we should appreciate the bad as much as the good. Disc of Amusing Wisdom. I may not be the most graceful dancer, but who really cares? I like to let the music take over and allow my body to go with the flow. Sometimes my wife and I will be freestyling, and it looks like so much fun. The kids forget to be embarrassed and can't help but join in. Disc of Surprising Wisdom. My son is a known prankster and likes to catch my wife and me by surprise. One time, he leapt out from behind a garden gnome, and my wife jumped so high in surprise that she threw out her back. Since then, we've established a strict household no surprises policy. We now reach the Modern Amenities series, beginning with Secured Satchel. How many times have I heard my family complain about a jar that won't open, or a door that won't open, and there I am saying, just run it under hot water, or push, don't pull. However, I've tried both on this bag, and it literally cannot be opened. Floral Instigator. When a flower blooms on a dead tree, it is nothing short of a phenomenon. I've also witnessed flowers bloom on a pigment's head after they drink nectar. I suspect this stick shares the same rejuvenating property exhibited by other life forms on this planet. Fascinating item. This one time when I was a kid, my parents had a big fight and refused to speak to each other. I went back and forth, mediating until the argument was resolved. I'd like to say it was for the sake of their love, but I was just tired of waiting for dinner. Trap lid. I've found that this planet is riddled with underground caverns and passageways. I love to explore this place, but it feels like I'm in constant danger of falling into a hole. This lid must have been used to warn previous inhabitants of nearby pitfalls. Perforated raft. I'd equip the underside of this raft with floats, so that it hovers above the water's surface, making it possible to sail without sinking. Then I'd plug the holes with magnifying lenses, so I could peer underwater safely. Yes, very practical. Gift of friendship. The lovely patina on this piece is evidence of a deep bond between this dog and its companion. A dog never truly forgets their owner, and an owner will remember their dog for life. Eternal truths such as this transcend all times and galaxies. We have now arrived at the Memory Fragment series, all of which are categorized according to position. The vastness of space and the unknown it contains is an unsolvable puzzle. At the start of each voyage, I set out to unravel every mystery and discover great truths, but I always find myself returning with more questions than answers. At Hook-Take Freight, we often divide up our cargo to use the ship's space more efficiently. Big companies have huge transporters to fill up, but that also means a lot less flexibility. They're still filling up their gigantic ships while we're out making deliveries. As a boy, I would spend days drawing elaborate treasure maps. The buried treasure may have been junk to most, but to me it was precious. Is this a fragment of a treasure map? I doubt it, but the subject of this drawing was probably a treasure to the artist. I understand the instinct to hide something precious to you, though the word protect is probably more apt. I feel similarly about my family. I do everything in my power to give them a safe, happy life. It's a simple desire, but it motivates me to carry on. This looks just like the kind of pictures you get when you let a kid play with their camera. Blurry and too close up to see anything. I deleted all those pictures my kids took to free up memory space, but now I wish I hadn't. Imperfect memories can be the most precious. This makes me think of my dog Bobby back at home. I'm away for work quite a bit, so we've got long periods without seeing each other. Yet every time I come home, he treats me as if I never left. He may be the wisest and most loving member of the family. This unknown organism bears a strong resemblance to the dogs on my planet. I'm amazed that such a similar species could exist in the far reaches of outer space. I've heard that organic components can travel through space on meteorites and comets. Could there be a connection between my planet and this one? As a young boy, I collected rocks and shiny objects that I held quite dear. My parents always wanted me to get rid of them, but I refused. I can't even remember where I found them all. I probably picked up most of them right in our own backyard. I'm still not sure why I was so attached to a bunch of gravel, but they shone like diamonds to me. As a child, there were many times I'd come across something unknown to me and intuitively investigate without hesitation. It worked out well for me, I believe. As an adult, I often overthink matters, so maybe I need to recapture that daring spirit of my youth. Why are things the way they are? The answer can be surprisingly simple. For example, my kids will often dismantle a clock or a chair, or tear up a piece of bread just because they can. Maybe there's no significant reason that this picture is in pieces either. That little bump at the end makes us look like it has a nose. Noses made me think of my son when he was a baby. He'd often forget my face after I'd been gone for long stints of work, and cry when I got home. But once he knew the distinctive shape of my nose, he recognized me right away. Did I dream of becoming a glorified delivery man? Or was adventure always my true goal, given my current circumstances? Who knows? I'm proud to say I've achieved both, but the president might see it differently. I'm worried about my annual bonus. And with that, we have now completed 7 series of the treasure catalog. My children have advised this report will be uploaded to some kind of video sharing website. So if you found it informative, you may show your support by pressing the thumbs up button. And please consider subscribing, as we shall be documenting all 27 remaining series. Good day, and farewell, explorers.